I would go to Robert, and I went to Robert, and I thought about that. I went for 6 months, once a week, and so that averages out to 24 hours. So in 24 hours, I really changed my life. I mean, that's not any time whatsoever, and so, but I know that there was times that I just hated. I don't know. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But it was just like, oh no, there's no telling what emotions would come up or what was hidden, because there's things that from my past were hidden that I didn't know were there. And so I was really quite, shocked, to find out things happened that I didn't even know about, that my unconscious mind just suppressed them so much. And, but it was those things that really controlled my life. And without those coming up and healing, I would still be doing and repeating the exact same patterns. And so I'm really grateful. But many times I didn't think it would work. I even sit here, and I am a person that can be very skeptical. And so I like to have things proven to me. And so I want proof. And so after it's done over and over again, and I have that, then I am totally, I'm a great supporter of yours and what all you've given me and taught me. And, but I had to have proof, and it works, and I'm really grateful. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you. Also, I have a client come to see me. She came in, she sat on the couch, she said, I don't have any problems. I don't have any problems. My life is wonderful. I could say 2 words, and all of a sudden they just start bawling because I know what is there, because I've been sitting with them, and I know what it is. And sometimes the mind, or we will put that wall up to pretend like it's not there, and so we just go in. And there's sometimes some of the biggest changes that I would create in somebody's life is the day they thought they didn't need to be there. I mean, boom, I go in, and because, the interesting thing is when you think there are no problems, the unconscious mind will give me or open up the door so I can see it. Now, sometimes you come in and you got the problems and you got your wall up and you kind of hold back a little bit when you come, but it's just amazing. Big, big changes. And there was a lady who came to, who's been seeing me, and she hadn't spent 24 hours on me. And she's probably spent 12 hours, maybe 15 hours. And she said, Robert, I spent over $100,000 plus. I mean, this just this last week. She said, I spent over $100,000 plus in therapy and counselors, and they would talk about it, and it would just stay there. She said, I've spent, not 12 hours, not even 12 hours. And she said, I have done more work in this room right here than I have done all the years of therapy, all the years. And the reason is because what I know. It's not that I'm wonderful, which I am, just you are as well, but I understand how it works. And since this is it's not a new way of thinking, it's the old way of thinking, but it just has mixed a little bit of things so we can make it easy for you. And it works. And so that's the reason why I'm telling you guys, in your everyday walk, tap. When you're going to work and you're feeling stressed, you got a meeting, tap. And when you're driving home and something's bothering you, tap. If you're getting ready to eat dinner and you're not hungry, tap. If somebody or you're getting ready to do something or go somewhere and something upsets you, bothers you, if you wake up in the middle of the night and something's there, tap. Because I realize those are the times that you can create the biggest changes. I can come in, you can come and see me, and I can really make some changes. Because I can listen, I can pick it up, and I can clear it out, and I can do it. I work really hard. But when you got the skills in the battlefield, and you start clearing and knocking these little pieces down as you go along, it's going to save you so much. Big, big, big time. And that's where the key is. That's number one key.
You guys were talking about quantum physics and stuff like that. You were saying, on a daily basis, tap. Well, the thing is if you don't, stuff persists. And it'll stay in your head forever.
Yeah.
And the funny part is, when I first started these classes, I didn't tap on a regular basis, but I knew how, I knew the processes and I knew how to do it. So things would come in my head, and because things would come in my head, then they would start actually manifesting in my life as something on a physical level, because it goes through different levels to be a quantified thing, a quantified experience.
Mm-hmm.
It'll manifest through seven different levels before it actually becomes physical. So if you don't actually tap, it'll actually manifest in your life in a bad way, rather than something that could be a conscious good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's
Just
very
a-
important. Matter of fact, I can do some really great work in my office, and I've seen it before. I do really great work. I clean up, and when they walk out the office, they go in their mind and they try to make it come back and leave it there. I mean, it's almost like it's a form of defiance. Well, I clean all this stuff up, change these memories, and got rid of this stuff, and then they'll walk out and they'll try to make it come back and keep it. So I discovered that it's our emotional attachments too. That's the key to healing. You got to figure out what it is that you're holding on to, and we replay this stuff. We're the one rehearsing it, and that's why it's so important to tap and heal as you go along. So, I mean, that's that. If I can give you any gift, that's the gift. Tap every day. Anytime you feel any disruption, when you think about your boss, when you think about your sister-in-law, your mother-in-law, your mother, your father, whoever it is, whatever it is that's in your life, release your reaction. You can't fix them, guys.
for me, because of all this stuff manifesting in my life in a bad way, because I didn't tap, it was because the whole symbolism of cleaning your plate, you know, your plate has to be clean, otherwise you don't do a good job.
Right.
So therefore you have to refill it in places that aren't filled up, in a manner of speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's problems, you know, if any attention, whether it's bad attention or good attention, it's still attention.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you have a space that's open in your head, a long time ago when you were healing me, you asked me how I see life. And I said spaces. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a space to fill, then you get attention for it.
Right.
And most people pick the negative route to get attention. So that's
Definitely
what happened to
true.
me.
How many realize that? I mean that's, and it's very common too that a young girl I'm working with, and I mean, she is so good at being mean to herself. I mean, she'll go to the gym and she'll find someone better than she is just to beat herself up. I mean, she would in her mind mentally, emotionally beat herself up. Feel not good enough. She'll go at work. She'll find some reason, some way that the boss doesn't like her or like someone else better. And then she's married, and then she'll somebody give her a gift, a wedding gift or a birthday gift. She'll find something wrong with it. So I said, look at what you're doing. You're beating yourself up. Where'd you get that idea? Well, it goes back to patterns. Of course, where did she learn that? She learned it from her mom. Her mom did exactly the same thing. And yet in our mind, we have these movies, and within our movies, in our mind, we replay them. And let's say Darlene and Vince are my brothers and sister. And so I see Darlene beat up Vince, or Vince beat up Darlene, and then they both come and beat me up. You're so mean. And so in my mind, I keep rehearsing and replaying this, and that happened when I was 10 years old. Right? When I replay it and rehearse it, guess who's doing it to me? I become Vince, and I become Darlene. And the interesting thing is, this is an affirmation within ourselves saying, this is what I want. Even though you say you don't, but you keep replaying it over and over again. It's an affirmation. It's affirming a belief system. And the interesting thing is, when I see it happen inside me, I act like what I say I don't want. You remember Ruth Ann? Remember Ruth Ann last week, or was it a couple of weeks ago? Ruth Ann had a voice inside of her head. It's something her grandfather had said. Was her grandfather saying it anymore? Absolutely not. Matter of fact, he's passed, hasn't he? He has already passed. So who is saying this to Ruth Ann? Ruth Ann. This is Ruth Ann's voice. This is Ruth Ann doing it to Ruth Ann. Well, that's a good thing now. Because why? She can change Ruth Ann. Do you see what I'm saying? It's us. It's what we play in our mind. And we've been conditioned to do this too, to beat ourselves up. So what we want to do is decondition ourselves.